Yo, what's up? Avian here, and today we're going to be talking about Week 3 college football and how the rankings came out to be, and I'm going to show you guys my comparison to the actual AP rankings. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay guys, I have the AP rankings up on the screen right now. They have Alabama 1, Georgia 2, Oregon 3, Oklahoma 4, Iowa 5, Penn State 6, Texas A&M 7, Cincinnati 8, Clemson 9, Ohio State 10, Florida 11, Notre Dame 12, Ole Miss 13, Iowa State 14, BYU 15, Arkansas 16, Coastal Carolina 17, Wisconsin 18, Michigan 19, Michigan State 20, North Carolina 21, Fresno State 22, Auburn 23, UCLA 24, and Kansas State 25. Now, it's not a bad ranking, honestly, when I'm looking at it, but there are a couple teams that I think are in different spots, just how they are in general, and the quality of wins they have and stuff like that, and I'll get right into that in a second. So here's a look at my rankings. Now, as you see, I do have Alabama 1 because of their win against Florida in the Swamp. Florida played a great game, which is why I didn't have them moving, and I don't think that AP ranking had them moving anywhere either after that loss, because honestly, they could have won that game, and they just made a couple mistakes, and they fell a little short. But Georgia took care of business against South Carolina. That's why I have them at 2. Oregon 3, they played Stony Brook, which, yeah, that's that. But I have Iowa actually behind them because I believe Iowa is just a better team right now than Oklahoma, and I think they would beat Oklahoma. I know people are going to be upset about that, but Oklahoma did not look that good. Their defense came to play, though, against Nebraska, but their offense was just not there. They made a lot of mistakes, and they still don't look like they're a college football playoff team. It's either one week they play great on defense and horrible on offense, or it's the opposite. They play amazing on offense and terrible on defense. So they got to get that together before they're a top 4 team in my book. And the next I got Cincinnati. Cincinnati went to Indiana. They won their game, and it was honestly a game that they did not play that great in. It was 38-24 if I remember correctly. And Indiana did all the right things. They just shot themselves in the foot way too many times. And Cincinnati took advantage of that and pulled away in that game. And then Penn State. I have Penn State up where they're at 8 because of their win against Auburn. I did only put them up 2 spots just because, I think Penn State's a lot better than Auburn is, even though they are a great team, with the whiteout and everything, and them being ranked 22. I do think that Penn State should have, probably won by 2 scores at least. But nonetheless, I moved them ahead of Ohio State and Clemson, which looked awful in their games. Clemson beating Georgia Tech 14-8 in a really, really ugly game. I don't know what is wrong with Clemson's offense. I really don't. If anyone has any thoughts why their offense is so poor, I would love to hear it in the comments. And then Ohio State. The opposite for Ohio State. Their defense is absolutely garbage. And I know Ohio State fans don't want to hear that, but it's just bad, guys. It's really bad. Their defense can't really stop anything. They were getting thrown all over in that game. I'm surprised Tulsa didn't have more than 20 points, to be honest. And Ohio State, it was 20-27 for most of that game. And they got a touchdown, and then Bryn threw a pick 6 to the Ohio State defender. I forgot who it was on Ohio State that picked it up, but he took it back for a touchdown. That's why the score is 41-20. So definitely not something to be proud of. But yeah, they got the win, and that's why I have them in the top 10. I moved them back 1. And then we got Texas A&M. I actually have them at the 10th spot just because they have not looked really good. And that's my opinion. In all their games that I've watched, they have not looked really good. And they played New Mexico this weekend. They won 34-0. Their defense, I think, is legit. They have a really good defense. But again, their offense just isn't doing what I think that they should be doing. They're not that good in my eyes. And I don't see them beating anybody in this top 10, including Clemson or Ohio State. I just don't see it with how their offense is playing. And I don't know. I hope they turn it around. They have a tough schedule. They have Alabama coming up. So we're going to really see what Texas A&M is made of and see if I'm just completely wrong about it, which I hope I am because I like Texas A&M. But yeah, and then I have Florida behind them at 11. I already told you guys why I have Florida at 11, so let's just move right on to Notre Dame. Notre Dame played Purdue this weekend. They won 27-13. They didn't look good in this game either, which is why they're still at the 12th spot. Purdue's a decent team, but they're not on Notre Dame's level, and Notre Dame is just, it seems like they're playing down to all their opponents, and I cannot reward them any spots at all. So that's why they're 12. And I have Wisconsin 13. Now, I believe in Wisconsin way more than the AP does, just because I think Graham Mertz is going to play a lot better, and their defense is insanely good. And they're going to win 10 or 11 games this year, depending on a couple things. But I think that offense is going to get better, and that's why I have them at 13. Ole Miss, I have at 14 because they're playing amazing on offense. My only question for Ole Miss is their defense a little bit. They're getting a lot better. They're a lot better than last year. And I believe that they're going to be a really good team, and they're going to give a lot of these SEC teams a run for their money. But yeah, I have them there for now. And Coastal Carolina behind them. Coastal Carolina is not looking too good. But, you know, they're undefeated. They've always been in the AP poll. And I believe they're a decent team. So that's why I have them at that spot. And then I got Iowa State right behind them. Iowa State, obviously, with that loss to Iowa and then playing, you know, mediocre football before then, they actually came out and played a really, really good game this weekend, and they blew out their opponent. And that's why I have them right there. You could debate between them and Coastal Carolina being there, but I just think that Coastal has those 3 wins, and Iowa State's got that 1 loss, and I want to give them the edge. And after that, I got North Carolina. North Carolina won a shootout against Virginia. 59-39, I'm pretty sure that game was. And these teams just don't want to play defense. I mean, it's looking like a Big 12 game out here. But, yeah, 59-39, that's a crazy score. Howell did amazing in this game. He threw for a lot of yards and touchdowns, but their defense is a question, which is why I don't have them higher. And I honestly just don't think that highly of them on defense at all. Their offense is great, but you need to play good defense to get anywhere, and they just don't have it. And then we got Arkansas. Arkansas is a good team, and they took care of business against Texas when they had to. Texas, I thought, was a little bit overrated. I mean, I did have them high in my polls, but they always have games like this. Like, they play a game that's supposed to be big, and they just show up short. And usually it's against Maryland, which is really funny. But this year it just happened to be against Arkansas. Arkansas, their other 2 games was against Rice and I forgot the other team, like Georgia Southern or something like that. And they obviously won those games convincingly. I just want to see them get into SEC play before I bring them up any higher, because I'm not sure if I'm bought in on Arkansas yet. But yeah, after that we have BYU. Now BYU, they played Arizona State this weekend. They ended up winning that game. They beat Herm Edwards and his Arizona State Sun Devils. They looked decent in this game. The first quarter they played pretty bad, I'm not going to lie. They only had like 12 yards or something like that. And in the second quarter and on after that, though, they played great football. Arizona State made a lot of mistakes as well in this game. But BYU, they converted, and they did what they had to, and they won this game. And kudos to that team. I think they're looking pretty good, and I can't wait to see them, you know, later on in the season and where they end up. Then we got Michigan, which is absolutely destroying every team they play. Granted, they're a group of 5 teams, but they're just running the ball all over these teams, and they're playing good defense. So that's why I have Michigan where they're at. I'll put them higher once they get into Big Ten play and they start to beat, you know, like teams that matter. You know, Iowa, Michigan State, Ohio State. We'll see what happens with all that, because Ohio State's not looking that hot, and Michigan might have a chance this year. And then we got Michigan State. Now, Michigan State, they actually played Miami this weekend. I didn't have Miami in my top 25 last week, I don't think, because they're just overrated, and they're not good at all. And I'm tired of the AP poll, and I'm tired of all these other people, analysts, saying that they're a good team. They're just not. They're not there. And Michigan State proved that they're not there. They went to Miami, and they blew them out, 38-17. And I don't want to hear anything else about Miami being good for the rest of the season. De'Aaron King, a lot of respect for him, but that team's just not there. And they're just not ready to make any big leaps with how they're playing. And after that, I have Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech actually lost this week to West Virginia. Now, I don't have West Virginia in here just because they didn't beat Virginia Tech that convincingly. They almost lost this game. They were like a couple yards away from losing this game, but they held up and they won. And actually, I do think West Virginia was favored to win this game as well. So kudos to Virginia Tech for like getting as close as they did. I only dropped them 7 ranks in the poll. I do think Virginia Tech's a good team still, and that's why I still have them in the top 25, and I didn't drop them out. But after that, I have Fresno State. Fresno State, this is a good team. They are a good team. Now, hear me out. That first game against Oregon, they only lost by 7 points. They looked great in that game. And then they took care of business in their other games. And then they came into this game against UCLA. And they looked great the whole game. They exposed UCLA basically. And they just took it to them. And they won 40-37, I'm pretty sure the score was at the end. And that was a heartbreak for UCLA because UCLA has high hopes this year. And I hope when they get to their game against USC that they make it a really good game because, you know, USC kind of dominates the series against UCLA. But I think that's going to be a really good game. And talking about USC, I have them at 25. They just fired their head coach, but I do think they're on the come up. They did beat Washington State. I think it was 45-10. Quote me if I'm wrong, but they looked pretty good. And, you know, more high hopes for them. I have them at 25. I have Kansas State looking in. They're 3-0. They're not looking bad at all. But I just think USC would beat Kansas State in a game. That's why I have them at the 25 spot. All right, guys. So that's my top 25. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How did I do? What's your guys' top 25? Yeah, I am going to have my predictions video coming out actually tomorrow. And I'm going to predict games for week 4. So look out for that. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.